Alexander Snitko, a Soviet worker from Belarus, is a symbol of Soviet internationalism and the liberation movements in Latin America. Oleg Yasinkin with more details.
En la ciudad bielorrusa de Gomel vive una
In the
persona.
Belarusian city of Gomel lives a very special person who became a protagonist of the movement of Soviet solidarity with Latin America, Alexander Snitko, whose collection is really impressive and very valuable for the historical memory of the Soviet and Latin American people.
If there was racism in capitalism, in the Soviet Union there was anti-racism, friendship between peoples, and the Soviet youth was educated with this, with the ideas of internationalism, friendship between peoples, different races and different nationalities. And that is why the Soviet youth was not indifferent to the tragedies, to the injustices that occurred in some distant countries.
Es uno de los fundadores del movimiento de solidaridad con América Latina.
He is one of the founders of the movement of solidarity with Latin America in the Soviet Union in the 1970s and 1980s, participated in the activities of international brigades, doing voluntary work in the USSR itself to collect resources to support the struggle of the Latin American peoples. At the same time, he was in charge of the popularization in the Soviet space of the culture and history of Latin America.
Alexander Snikko popularized Latin America. He spoke of what cannot be sold, of what does not cost money, but of solidarity with the people who fought and continue to fight now for a new world, against globalism, against imperialism, for human dignity, for the independence of the peoples of all continents.
La Unión Soviética fue una alternativa al
The Soviet Union was an alternative to savage and unjust capitalism and proposed to build a more humane and just society. This was represented in the practice of the internationalist brigades organized by its own citizens. The common Soviet citizen could not remain indifferent to the pains and struggles of the peoples of the world, and many were encouraged to help and participate in national liberation movements.
The level of civilization has reached such a degree, the modern planetary civilization, that it is impossible to solve any problems within national borders. This is only possible thanks to the joint efforts of mankind. And the most important thing is the attitude of friendship and solidarity with people of different races and different cultures.
Советское движение солидарности с народами Латинской
The Soviet movement showed solidarity with the peoples of Latin America, and this is not a past stage. This is something that shows itself in a new way, and something that, of course, will be reborn in one form or another. Something that will not only be remembered, but will be very important. And these connections will only get stronger and stronger.
И связи вот эти, они будут только укрепляться.
Miles de personas en Bielorrusia y en Rusia siguen.
Thousands of people in Belarus and Russia continue to preserve the ethics inherited from the Soviet era, and in their daily lives they defend the best values of humanity. Because it is never too much to remember the words of Ernesto Che Guevara, that solidarity is the tenderness of peoples.
Oleg Yasinski, teleSUR, Moscú.